Greetings commanders and welcome back to another Warpath video. My name is Eagle, and since update 4.0 has been launched, we have been playing with the arena a lot, learning and preparing for this specific video over here. So in this video, we're gonna give you the best configurations, tips and tricks, and a bonus amazing trick at the end that will guarantee you a hell lot of points and at least the top 50 to top 10 positions within the arena. So for that, stay tuned to know more. To kick things off, as you can see, my rank right now is in the top 100 of my server. If you look at my actual power, it's 4.45 million, which is basically extremely low compared to the other members that are here in the top 50. So that means that my current rank or my current set of points put me in a position where I am the highest person in my current power range, which is basically very important because there's a lot of things that went in the back end of this, and we will be uncovering what's everything that is under the hood right now, starting with the defense formation. Basically, the defense formation is everybody's question. What units you use, what unit type is the best unit type, and what single composition is the best in the current meta. Well, the first and most straightforward answer to this is that there is no single composition that actually beats every single units or specific configurations that are out there. And the simple answer for this is that the meta changes every single week, and whenever there's a new unit, the meta will definitely change in the arena. There's always a better compositions to use than the other one, simply because of the first thing that we're going to be talking about, which is the weekly buff. The weekly buff is basically an addition, basically stats that will be added to a specific unit every single week that changes from week to week and will definitely change your current composition that you are using from week to week. So you always have to be updated whenever this weekly buff is there. And as you can see, the season for the arena is basically a weekly season. So basically every single season, you'll be able to see new units and new metas being used in the arena. Now, the way to use these, there are general tips that I'll be giving you right now that will help you out decide which unit types to use and how to use them smartly so that you can actually counter your opponents. As you can see, whenever you are actually challenging an opponent, you are able to see their exact units that they are currently using. So for example, this guy over here is using these specific units, and it will be easily if you go and challenge them. Currently, I don't have any coupons because I spend them all trying to get to the top 100 before the day ends so that I can get the maximum rewards. However, when you challenge them, you can actually see their specific compositions so that you can put units that actually counter theirs. Now, this plays a very important part in your actual defense as well, because over here, there's the first rule that you need to know, or the first tip, is that the front line must always have units that have extremely high durability and can take a hit. These units will be able to protect your backline, because the way that the arena works is that units target units on proximity, meaning that the nearest unit for that specific unit will be attacked. After you finish up with that unit, you will go to the nearest other unit. So once the front line is completely destroyed, then the backline is exposed and the enemy units or your units will be able to attack their backline. So it's always very important to put all your damage dealers in the backline and all your frontal heavy units in the front line. Now, heavy units are basically could be super heavy units or heavy units from any nation. It would be or for any camps. Those are extremely important. So the ones that are over here are extremely useful. You can also put, I've seen a lot of these, some infantry units in the front line. And the reason for this is that some people use these, especially with the new abilities of smoke bombs and whatnot. A lot of people are using these to counter specific units that are in the front line. For me personally, I don't really like infantry. They were buffed a lot last season. I really haven't tried them here a lot, but I've seen a lot of the people who are in the top ranks that are actually using them. For example, like this guy over here. I mean, specifically this guy, he has a lot of power. That's why he's third. But I mean, could he went for a better combo? Probably yes, simply because of this weekly bonus that is more tilted to heavy tanks. However, the first guy isn't using any infantry, the second guy isn't using any infantry, the fourth is actually using, and the fifth is actually using some infantry units. So there are specifically a couple of metas that are going on right now. Some people are using them, others are not. You can definitely try them for yourself and check them out. I personally do not recommend them because I will go definitely to the weekly buff and use the heavies specifically for this week. Now, if you would like, guys, we can do, actually, I was thinking about one thing is that once the weekly buff, whenever there's a new weekly buff, we can do like a small video talking about the current meta in this specific week, like a 5-minute video or even less than that. You can check out this video, know the meta quickly, and adjust to it. Definitely, I think that would be a great idea, but I would like to also hear your opinions on that, and if you would like something like that from now on. However, your backline should have the highest damage dealing units. So for example, artillery, with basically howitzers and rocket launchers over here. These are super important, in addition to tank hunters as well as anti-tank guns. Those are the main backline units to be used. Now their position actually matters. Instead, like for example, using them in the middle or even using them on the sides does matter a lot. Usually I've seen a lot of people using their super heavies in the middle. That's why I used my howitzers right to the sides so that I can actually target their two siding units which are on the opposite side. So for example, here I'm using my heavies on the sides. I want these units to target the heavies because the heavies are a little bit squishier than the super heavy tanks, so that's why I want them to be taken out first so that I can finish up the super heavy tank at the end. I've seen also a lot of people using this combo, which is basically taking out like putting only 2 tanks over here and then placing an anti-tank gun over here, for example. This is also another common combo that I've seen. Not necessarily 2 howitzers with 1 anti-tank gun, but this is also a very strong combo that I do recommend as well. Now, the reason why not a lot of people are actually using basically howitzers is because of their load time. They do require a lot of time to load, so initially 4 seconds, and then it actually takes a lot of time for them to keep firing at a fast fire rate. So if you don't have really solid officers for them, I would then recommend using, for example, another tank, which is basically a tank hunter or even an anti-tank. So these can also be very useful because of the way that they counter other tanks as well. So it is actually a very good combo to also go like 1 howitzer, 1 anti-tank, and 1 tank destroyer. This is a very good backline combo. So in terms of these combos, they definitely change every single week. So for example, next week, if we see tank destroyers, then I'll be definitely using more tank destroyers in the combo. Currently, this is what I'm rocking. I do like a lot the super heavy tanks because they do last a lot in the front line, and they are extremely hard to penetrate. So this is basically what I wanted to say about the combos and the front line and the back line. In terms of, so let's cancel that. We don't want to save. Okay, so leave it anyway. Yes. So another tip that I could give to you basically is, there are 2 things that I actually wanted to say at the end of the video. But before we say that, is actually taking a look at the top 10 players. Here, the top 10 players, they obviously know what they're doing, right? Of course, they have like extra challenges per day because of their high VIP level. However, a lot of them know exactly what they're doing and know exactly what type of compositions they are using. So if you see a specific pattern that is being used in the top 10 to 20 players in the season, then that means that is currently the meta that is being used, that's actually making everyone like at the top of the list. And there's a reason why these guys are over there. So basically, taking a look at what they are currently using in their rosters is also a very good idea from time to time. There's a very good thing over here. There are 2 good tips that I can give you guys. The first tip is attacking. I did mention this in the last video, but attacking at the very last minutes of the day. So for example, the weekly timer over here resets in 6 hours and 30 seconds. The reason why I attacked right now and finished all my challenges is because I'm not gonna be available in the game. However, if I would be available in like 6 hours from now, then I would lift my attacks for the last 5 minutes, did my challenges 5 minutes before the season ends, and secured my position in the top 100. Now there's a very good chance that I'll be attacked multiple times and I would be securing a position in the top 200 instead of the first 100, or even maybe more than that if I was unlucky. However, it is very important to actually do this tip if you are able to, if it's not like very late at night, but I would definitely recommend using them the latest amount you can play per day, so that you like players would have less of a chance of attacking you, and you would be able to get more rewards on a daily or even the season rewards. So that was the first tip. Now the second tip is a little bit crazy. So the second tip is actually something that I've tried before and I've definitely used. I know that many of you guys already have alt accounts, and alt accounts are basically sub accounts that you create in a server to help you out, for example, in fights and whatnot. So these sub accounts, you can use them in the arena to actually attack your own account. Like, find it in the challenges system over here, keep refreshing until you see yourself, and then attacking yourself from over here. Now, when you attack yourself, what will happen is that if I go to battle over here, and you can see whenever I win a battle against someone who attacked me when I'm away, I'll be able to get points. And these points will be immediately added to the point system over here. Now, if you do this multiple times throughout the day, especially in the beginning of the season, because right now my alt account is probably going to be extremely hard for it to reach this specific amount of points and find myself at this high rate. So that's why it's extremely hard for the alt account to be available at the end of the season. But in the beginning of the season, it can definitely give you a massive boost that will secure your position in the top 50. And the reason being is that, especially if you are actually having like some strong points or some actual power over here, you will definitely be able to secure your position in the top 50, and you won't have to rush the VIP levels to get more challenges, and therefore actually spending a lot of gold in that per day. So instead, you can actually use your alt accounts to gain more challenges by challenging your own account and losing against it. Then make sure, of course, that you're only attacking like with 1 units or very weak units on your alt account, so that your main account always wins. And once you do that, you'll be able to get a bunch of points out of that. And it does help out a lot. I've tried it in multiple games, and I did try it in this game as well. It does help out a lot. It works, and I hope you guys liked this tip. If you did like this tip, make sure to consider subscribing down there and help us with a like. Maybe share this with your friends to grow the community. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll definitely see you in the next video.